you're here already. That's nice. Just give me a second. I'll finish washing my head after walking in this fine UK weather, and I'll be with you in a second. Today's Sunday, and I'm in the office, and that means anywho, today I'm in the office to work on this stuff. This here is a print server, and what turned out to be the case is that designers need a storage to put the files, designs on and everything, and because there is now 2 workspaces for 2 of them to work on, it needs to be shared so both of them can have access to the very same information. While they do have storage, as I mentioned in the building them this episode, it's best to have something that's accessible to both of them, so we don't have duplicates or older versions of something, and they can use them pretty much when they need to. And that's why, well, I already have the print server, so it makes sense for me to just basically use the print server as also a server for storage. It does have like a half a terabyte inside, but being a machine that is business oriented, it doesn't have too much space for expansion. So this is where the hard drive bay will come in handy, mainly because I have one. It goes the same for the hard drive, so I do have that on hand. So that's what I'm going to do in here today, is pretty much plugging this into this. It just uses your standard USB and stuff. So I have to share this over the network so the designers can access this as a main storage for their machines, whatever they are in the office. While I'm doing all of this, I do have some time to explain how did we end up with an office and no electricity. What happened is that when we finally got the lease agreed and signed and everything, it turned out, obviously we received the keys and everything, and it turned out that landlord informed us that there is no electricity. It was disconnected supposedly, but all we would have to do to get the electricity back is just call any energy supplier and ask them to supply the electricity basically for us. And that was that. Didn't think much of it. But upon calling one of them, it turned out to be not as straightforward as you might think. A couple of interesting aspects actually surfaced. So first of all, I was informed that this specific office has been with no electricity. It has been disconnected like a decade ago or so, and because it was so far away, so long ago rather, they would need, and it was de-electrified because of the debts that whomever owned this place had. Now it would be fine and everything because the debt has been cleared and there's no allocation to us whatsoever. But the thing is, they have to send out an electrician to re-energize this specific office. While it wouldn't be a problem on its own, I was informed that only the company that had the energy that carried out the disconnecting this office from the electricity is able to resupply it with the electricity. And while also not a problem, or not a big deal, the problem is that is not a very big company as far as I can tell, which means they experience a staff shortage, which turns out that, as I was saying before,
we received the office, or rather the keys to the office, on the 22nd of November. But I called the energy supplier the very same day, and the nearest appointment that they could get me would be the 16th of December. And unless I book it straight away, it's unknown when the next available date will be. 16th of December. So we end up with a storage facility that we are unable to occupy and use as an office. Now, the landlord was pretty much straightforward. He offered to reimburse the rent and everything straight away, so we were lucky there. But obviously there's still a problem where we can't get into the office. Not only that, they also said that they are usually charging something for re-energizing the office or the building or the property, but they wouldn't because it was so long ago or something. I'm not too sure on that, but or why they even said this to me. So they have to reconnect it, only they can do it, and it's like more than 3 weeks away from the current date. Well, at the time, current date. Not only that, but they require a certificate to be provided upon arrival in order to reconnect the property that the wiring is okay, that there's no, I don't know, the wiring's fine and the building will not blow up if they reconnect the plug, obviously. And it was clearly messaged to me that this is a very must and there's no way around it. This is the only way, and unless they have this exact certificate on hand, I can't recall the name of it, but some sort of checkup, that they will just turn around and go away. Interesting fact, well, this company, they asked me if there's an easy parking within the area, and I said no, there isn't one. And he said, okay, we'll book it as a two-man job then. So, to the best of my understanding, they are booking a two-man job if there is no parking, which means, what's going to happen? I mean, the best scenario I can imagine is one is working, the other one's driving around. I don't know how the logic works, but regardless. So I phoned the landlord and say that, okay, so this is the situation. That's what they explained to me, and they heavily leaned on the certificate and everything. So landlord was okay, I'll get the electricians to get you a certificate, so there's no problems on the day of the reconnection of the whole thing. And I was like, okay, that's pretty much it. No. Turns out I was pressurizing them a bit, well, heavily, because I wanted this whole thing to happen faster. And well, they did manage to get me a spot earlier, which happened to be on 12th of December. And so, and the time frame was between 12 and 4 p.m. I think it was. So there's me, well, empty office, no electricity, and there's me, landlord's key guy, for whatever reason. There's the landlord's electricians. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. So basically, the electricians are able to do only part of the certification that's needed, because they need the whole thing to be live to finalize the test and do the lead test or something like that. But anyway, so we can't energize the building without the certificate, but we can't get the certificate without the building being energized. That's a nice bonus. So then, this is how we went by it. So on the date, 12th of December, just before 12, there's me, as I've said, there's me, the landlord's key guy, and 2 electricians are on standby, waiting for them 2 engineers from the company to arrive and we would have kept them captive until they've given us the electrification, and the electricians would do the live test right there and then. And at least that was semi the plan that we hatched with the landlord, and somehow at least to solve this whole situation. The day comes, the guy arrives, and guess what? He's one man on a 2-man supposedly booked job, and he goes, well, all of us assemble in a sort of tight corridor, and we just stand there watching at each other, and the main electrician guy who came, because me, the landlord, his guy, and 2 electricians, and now the engineer, we're all crammed into one space, and the guy who's supposedly re-energizing the building is just standing there and not knowing what's happening. So we had to explain about the certificate and the electricians and the landlord and me being there. So basically we explained the whole thing to him, and he's like, but why? He's like, well, that's what we've been told. And he's like, I don't need anybody here. All I need to do is you to show me where the box is, where to put the plug in, or the fuse in rather, to be technically correct. And I'll be on my way, pretty much. I don't need any paperwork or anything. So we're like, right, okay. That was a big loaf of nothing. In the end, pretty much what's happening is the guy takes the fuse box, he opens it, it's empty, so he needs to put the fuse back in, and he goes back to his car, takes the fuse, plugs it in, takes his little whatever detector type of thing, plugs it in one of the sockets, and he's like, yep, that's it, I'm fine for now. And obviously, well, at least the guys are here, and the landlord's electricians are here, and they do the loop test as well. It's like, I'm in a 2-minute job, and we all go our own way. But this is just to show how much of a BS and bureaucracy there is within these companies, and how much pain has been caused and delay and lost time of 5 people waiting for someone. Well, we were prepared to wait for them 4 hours, and how much people and human hours were lost because of one person not knowing what they are doing. And I'm referring to a representative on the phone, and I'm not meaning this in a bad way as in the person was incompetent. I'm saying that most probably this is what the company policy dictates, and it has been made up by someone who's supposedly an expert at best, had some work done in this area, and I would assume it's not even that. He just like, health and safety regulations, we need this and that and whatever, and I don't care that it's not compatible with this or that. So everybody else around had to, well, waste their time, and this happens time and time again with most instances that they are around it. And that's even not touching the human aspect of all of this, where you could have some people who know less or more within the call centers themselves specifically. But if you just look at the corporate structures and how it's formed and how the policies, the guidelines are created, this is where all of this is happening pretty much. At least that's what I think. But we got there in the end, and well, as you can see, the office is lit, the machines are here and everything, and hopefully everything's set up now for me to not have to actually invest any more of my time within these machines or the office, because it's supposed to be now ready for everything, and well, unless the election goes sideways. But other than that, hopefully this is all now ready, and we will see how we are working from a new facility. guess that'll do it for this episode, and hopefully you enjoy progressing with us as we grow and expand our business from something being a side hustle, being very tiny and small at home, into a company. And hopefully this is not the very last upgrade and expansion that we will be able to show you. Okay, that'll do for it. Thanks for joining. See you next episode.